Thanks for coming. Day one, spring 2016, and I told them it's not that big a deal, so don't expect a word of encouragement yet because it's easy, it's fun. You're just got beat up in the off-season program for 6-7 weeks, and I was expecting high energy. That's what we got. And our whole focus is on 4 to 6, A to B, which means relentless effort and not making mistakes. I mean, I don't care if you make mistakes. The whole culture around here is effort overcomes mistakes anyway. So if we have to teach you how to go hard, then you got to move on and not stay here at Ohio State. If you make mistakes, that's our job to coach you. So we got what we wanted. Obviously, a lot of work to do, but obviously, I think you take, I was counting 16 at least guys that probably move on to the NFL or maybe more even. And then they have, I think, 11 right now. Guys are counting on that can't go full speed. The Eric Smith, the Cam Burrows is close. You got Corey Smith. You got Noah Brown. Those are guys, examples of that we're really counting on. They just can't because of injury. They can't go full speed. So I got a lot of work to do. I'll answer any questions for you.
Back row right, Clay.
Did you ever look around today and get an uneasy feeling like I know you were at the Combine, I'm sure you've come to grips with it, but
sure.
To see all those faces.
Well, I saw them all at the Combine, and to see them walk, I just love guys that come back and big hug and big smile and thanks for everything. And it's a good place right here in Ohio State. People appreciate it, what they've done. We just had a mural put down the hallway. I won't mind you if you let these guys see that. A new mural in the hallway, just a tribute to what was done here for the last 4 years, a picture of every senior that was involved in that 50 wins and two or three BCS wins or big-time bowl wins. So I do, but it's part of the growing up, I guess, when your daughter gets married and leaves home, and when you see a group of 14, 15, 16, 17 players who you really care about leave.
What's the tougher transition?
Between what?
Daughter.
Oh. Let me think. The daughter.
Front row right, Austin.
Urban, it's like there have been some springs in your career where you say, I want to have a depth chart when we're done, so in August you focus on the game. Is that possible for you to do?
I don't know. I will let you know as it goes along the journey here. This is uncharted waters for me too. This is, you'd like to, but I don't think so. With 11 guys out too, that's the thing that kicks you in the teeth is the fact, if everybody's ready to go, I think you could do that, but we're not. Curtis Samuel, we have our three top receivers are out. You have safeties are all, 2 of those guys are out. And so I don't think we'll be able to do that this year.
When you're out there in a situation like that with just 6 returning starters, do you find yourself trying to zip around the practice field and see
a little more than, yeah, a little more. And I have to not just be so involved with the offense. And so I think the move of Ed Warner to, because you can't watch the practice if you're coaching all 5 guys. So, yeah, I'm trying to spread myself out a little bit.
Front row here, Bill.
Are there 2 or 3 things you really want to see or get accomplished this spring?
Oh, more than that. I think it's not as simple as when you have this many new people. Obviously developed a depth chart. Schematically, we're not going to change much. I think Coach Yano is going to bring some new stuff for us. And offensively, we're not going to change much at all. So I'm not worried about that. It's just that, I want to see somewhat of a depth chart by the time we leave.
And how many positions would you feel comfortable still being uncertain at the end of spring? Obviously, you want as many filled as you can, but is there a number you say, I don't want to have more than this unsettled?
No. Just once again, it's just new uncharted waters. I'm hoping we get and put a lot of pressure on the coaching staff to have somewhat of a depth chart, and I think we will.
Second row left, Lori.
Coach, last year at this time you were talking about individual improvement to the point where you stressed team building extra in the summer because you had to focus so much on individuals in the spring. Is that a similar approach this spring, or do you really need to get some team building done over the course of these workouts?
Great question. I think that we don't spend this because you don't have time. This is all football. And so the team building things we do in the month of May and June, and a little bit in July. So that's a good question. That's one that I'm sure will start showing up here a little bit when you start, because you'll hear the term power of the unit so much around here, and some of these units were decimated by people leaving, and so you'll see a lot of team building. Maybe we will do some. That's a great question.
Front row middle, Dave.
Coach, running back seems like a very interesting competition. What's your gut feeling of who will be the starter come fall?
Well, Briante's a senior, so I'd like to see him take that first swing. I think the guy behind him's pretty good too, Mike Weber. And I mean, I guess you'd hope that it'd be Briante Dunn take the first snap of the first game of the season, but I know the kid behind him's pretty good too.
Curtis Samuel, do you see him, once he's healthy, do you see him playing running back or
Absolutely.
H-back or both?
Both. And then Dontre got some reps at running back too. He's up 198 pounds now, which is much heavier than 170 when he first got here. So I'd see 4 guys carrying the ball right now for us in the fall. The 2 running backs, and then Dontre and Curtis.
Front row right, Tim.
Yeah, Urban, number one, is there one spot that clearly someone has to step up that you're totally unsure about at this point? I mean, of the eight starting spots on both sides of the ball, is there one spot that you clearly got your eye on?
D-line is the one that, whether it has to be the year of development, a year of, I think we're counting on one guy that's not here yet, Bosa. He's going to be in the rotation. And then Cooper out there, I think he's going to probably be in the rotation. The inside position is one that's, we really got to, the guy out there today, we moved him inside, was Jay Sean. He did a heck of a job. We're looking for that quick twitch guy. And Draymond is another one that, those are 2 puppies that have to play for us.
And how many guys are y'all going to have in your 2017 class? What is a maximum number? Because when you start adding up guys, seniors on this team, and maybe some others, it seems like a small number, yet y'all have a pretty, y'all are into the teens now of commitments and stuff, but do you know what the number, do y'all have a
No.
target number in mind?
No. I think we should probably work on that. But,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of hot right now. Guys want to come, and so we just got to be a little diligent about how we're handling that, because that disrupted the 9 guys leaving. It disrupted how many mid-year spots you got, everything. So those are all conversations we're having as we speak.
From the first day you walked in here till now, following up on that, do you sense y'all become even more of a national, have more of a national presence of getting people's attention when you do knock on doors, et cetera? I mean, is it?
See, I've been asked that many times, and I've always felt that since I was this big, Ohio State's been a national name, and players from all over the country come to Ohio State. You got to take care of your state first, and then go cherry pick, and that's kind of what we do.
Front row left, Blake.
We have, I believe, 21 redshirt freshmen right now. How big is this spring for them in terms of not only their actual development, but what they can do to sort of distance themselves from the class coming in?
That or they won't play. And they have to, obviously, just sheer numbers. Someone said we have 44 or 45 players that have 4 years eligibility. You shouldn't do that. And that's kind of my fault that I didn't push it harder, but we had such depth last year that I hate wasting people's year of eligibility. So does our staff. So, yeah, that's a little imbalanced. It's going to be pretty good news around here in about 2 years, but.
Do you get a sense that they know what's coming to in that class, that they got guys that are going to be pushing them this fall?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it's just survival right now. I mean, you got a bunch of kids not played, but I'm hoping it turns out to be a little bit like that 13 class, that you just didn't know what you had until 2014. We're all hoping that.
Excuse me, Doug.
Urban, talking about the guys who are injured right now, who are the guys that are pretty much not going to be participating much in the spring, and who are the guys that might work their way back in later?
The 3 receivers won't go. Not at all. As safeties, you have Cam Burrows will go a little bit, and maybe more after spring. And who's the other safety? Cam Burrows. Eric Smith will not be live, but he's out there doing run-throughs. And then corner, we have Damon Webb will be fine when we get back from spring break, just a slight muscle strain. Who are the other big names that are hurt? Tyquan's done. He won't do anything. Tyler Gerald, the freshman, won't do anything because those are shoulder injuries. We'll get them in June. Barrows won't do anything. I mean, he's ACL and he's only 6 months out. There's another Nick Connors, 6 months ACL, 6 months out. KJL's, he's going to do everything but catch. Everything but tackle. Do something. Underline that, do something.
We've seen how important backup quarterbacks have been at Ohio State. How much do you feel like you know about Joe Burrow right now, and what do you really want to see from him this spring?
Just play better. He's improved his body and release. And Steven's going to get a chance as well. And then the guy coming in, I'm counting on him to go battle for that spot. So yeah, backups. No one's been anointed yet.
And then this is off topic, but I feel like I have to ask you about it. We asked you a political question earlier a couple weeks ago, and then
What kind of question?
A political question.
Oh.
And then when Donald Trump was here, he mentioned you at a campaign rally here. Like he said, quote, "I don't know if he endorses me or not, but he said awful nice things about me." Have you ever met Donald Trump, and what is your response to what he said about you?
Justin Hilliard's got a bicep injury, so he'll be able to do everything except for full tackle. And our 3 receivers, we'll get them right back after spring practice.
Second row left, Ari.
No comment?
And Dylan Thompson's got to start playing. Although, you guys see the wolf out there? Still trying to figure out how it breathes up there.
Second row left, Ari.
Urban, you talked about the 3 receivers are going to be out. Obviously, you guys lost about 120 receptions last year, the 3 guys you lost. You have a lot of young guys.
Austin Mack had a great day, by the way, today.
And that was one of the guys, true early enrolled freshman. But how do you kind of see this whole spring kind of working out when you have a bunch of guys who are expected to be a part of the rotation but can't play? You got young guys like Johnny Dixon, Torrance Gibson. I mean, is this a big spring for some of the young guys?
Yeah, it's actually it's a blessing in disguise because Curtis needs to improve, but we'll get him ready throughout training camp. Noah Brown, I just want him. He was a starter when he was injured. I think he'll have a heck of a year. Who's the other one that's hurt? Corey Smith's played a lot of football for us. He'll be fine too. He wasn't there just to work on. He had tutors and study table today. But I think Torrance Gibson and Austin Mack right now are battling for the starting X in practice. And then that also gives guys like Paris Campbell, and he's also in the hunt for the starting X. And Terry McLaurin, some guys that really have to step up. And I think they will. I mean, they've earned their right around here to get some playing time. So it's huge. Johnny Dixon also had a great offseason. It was the healthiest he's been since he's been here. I think he said 4 centimeters of his leg. He's that much stronger than when he first got here.
A little bit after the bowl game, and he's got both, the arthritis in both knees. And he said one day he looks great and looked like he was running out there okay, and the next he might not be able to walk well. Do you guys anticipate he's past that and is going to?
No, we're not past it yet. We're just being very cautious. He won't do nothing other than vertical routes all spring, and then by June, then he gets into the planned drives, which is right now. If he can help us to be a vertical receiver because he's legitimate fast, then we're going to be good. He looked great today.
2 more questions. Third row left, Eric.
Just the strength, he would do, and Coach Mick will help you, but the squats was pathetic just because of injuries he had in high school. And his first year, he could do 135, maybe a couple reps. Now he's repping out over 400 pounds. Or I don't want to give you numbers because I know exactly, but the point is that the leg is 4 centimeters wider than it was because of muscle in his quads.
2 more questions. Eric?
Jim Tressell's coming back next year to speak at your coaching clinic. Is that your idea? Did you personally invite him for that?
Yes, I thought this is one of the most interesting places where you have 3 legendary coaches that are 2 in town and one that's still very close to Ohio State. And I just thought it'd be great to have those guys back. Last year we made a tribute to the state of Ohio and invited 2 NFL coaches in. Now we're inviting Coach Puggich, who is a Buckeye, a player and a coach, Super Bowl champ. We have Chris Carter, Hall of Fame wide receiver, coming back, and it was my idea to bring back 3 legendary coaches. And I think Coach Tressel, what a great opportunity to address his colleagues, the high school coaches in state. So very proud to have those guys coming back.
And last question, Jared.
I want to ask about JT. With his development in the spring, it's his first spring really as the guy,
Right.
if you will. How do you want to see him approach the spring areas of growth in his role?
Like he has as a captain. He's already, we've already appointed him captain. We didn't have a vote. We just appointed 3 guys, Pat, Raekwon, and him, and he's been JT. Incredible leader. You know, him and Mike Weber have developed a great relationship. And that's that whole 10-80-10 we talked about. He's an elite guy. Now let's go get some of those 80 guys. And the 80%ers are just the average guys that have to become elite. And how do you do that? You harness the power of the elite guys. And JT's been working with Mike Weber and some other guys, pulling them up to his level.
What's his skill set? Anything in particular you want him to focus on?
Yeah, everything. I thought we were slow twitch last year. We changed all our drills in the quarterback room. You know, everything's get the ball out fast, quick hustle. We're going to do a lot more up-tempo offense than we've done. The last 2 games was almost, I want to say 80% tempo, and it worked out really well. I think that's with Coach Warner upstairs in the box, which he'll be again. We're able to do that, so we hope to be a real fast offense this year.
Great. Coach,
Thank you.
very much.